Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Miriam, and we're here for a book haul, but not just any book haul, this book haul being the book haul of the foreseeable future. Called thusly because the books that you see on this haul will make up the majority of the content on Strip Cover Lit for the foreseeable future. Fancy, fancy. In addition to, of course, and unfortunately, Harry Potter. And I think I'm going to keep doing some poetry stuff, including the poetry readings and more poetry discussions. But I have 5 books here, so let's get right into it, starting with the least interesting, probably, to BookTube, the 100 best stocks to buy in 2018. Now, I am not in the place to be buying stocks in 2018. However, I buy this book every year because it's interesting to keep up with these things and just to sort of see where the market is going. Notice the stocks that have dropped off, that have been added to this list. Not for any real reason other than the fact that I plan to get to this point at some time in my life where I am investing in stocks again, and it's nice to train yourself in the sort of thinking that goes along with these things. So this will probably not be very BookTube relevant at all. I've got a bit of a cold, so I am short on breath. When you add having a cold to being sick for a month and a half, plus having asthma, it gets hard to breathe at times. Moving along, another book that will probably not be very relevant to BookTube, but I do want to do something with it on the channel, but I'm not sure how exactly to work it in, is The Four by Scott Galloway, The Hidden DNA of Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Google. And it is thus far a very interesting book. I think I might just do a discussion video on it. And if you are planning on reading it, it is written in a very, I won't say disturbing manner, because that might be being dramatic, but it is very off-putting. Not the language used, not the subject matter, just the incomplete sentences, just the way that Scott Galloway sort of, if you are going to read it, I do suggest watching some of his videos on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel. Just put in his name, Scott Galloway, SCOTTGALLOWAY. He's done a lot of talks. He's done a lot of talks even on the subject matter for this book. But I suggest watching him because his cadence is very strange and he doesn't bother to change it for print. He just goes ahead and transcribes the thoughts from his head onto the paper, and it makes it difficult to read sometimes, even for me, and I've been watching Scott Galloway for the better part of a year and a half, maybe 2 years. So I do think it is an interesting read. It is interesting to see where he thinks the economy is going, and if you do keep up with his YouTube channel, it's very obvious that he has a very good hold on those things, on that subject matter, because he does predictions and he will do updates on those predictions. Startlingly correct sometimes. Moving right along. Dr. Sleep by Stephen King. You may notice that this one's already a bit marked up. There's some bookmarks in there. There's some highlights and some scribbles in the margins. This is going to be the subject of a series on the channel starting soon. I will be breaking this down as King breaks it down, part 1, part 2, and part 3. I will do a read-along video for each one of those parts, and then a book review at the end. And I might mix in some other videos. I've been struggling with. If you've been on the channel for a while, you know that I've been struggling with the series that I'm putting together for books, because I'm just struggling. But so far, this is the sequel to The Shining. The Shining being my favorite Stephen King novel that I have read to this point. This is a bit of a disappointment, but we will get to that in the series. Moving right along, the Best American Short Stories of 2017. Now, of course, this drops in 2018. As compiled by Meg Wolitzer, I'm going to be doing a series on this as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing a review of each short story or just a discussion video on each short story and putting them into a series, but the Best American series is normally pretty good, and this one has T.C. Boyle, Emma Cline, Mary Gordon, Amy Hempel, Jim Shepard, so definitely some bigger names in there. I'm very much looking forward to the T.C. Boyle. I haven't read any T.C. Boyle in a while. And Erika from Perks of Books also read this, and she did a video on it, I believe, during the 12 Days of Litmus. So go check out that video as well. And finally, for this book haul, a book that I am going to be doing a series for that should be much easier than the last time I tried doing a series for a similar subject matter, this being Leonardo da Vinci by Walter Isaacson. Now, early last calendar year, I tried to do a series on another Da Vinci biography, but the way that biography was written was very difficult to, it was hard to make shows out of. So I stopped. I think that it was just difficult because the way that it was broken down, it was hard to figure out what subject matter to put in a single show. And sure, maybe that doesn't matter as much, but every time I turn the camera on, I feel an obligation to put together thoughts that are coherent. And if I'm not feeling it, I just can't do it. I can't carry through with that. But Walter Isaacson's biography of Einstein is probably the best biography I've ever read. Probably my favorite as well, although I really like one on Andrew Jackson. But Walter Isaacson's writing style is the best thing. So some biographies, they want you to like the subject. Some biographies, they have some agenda they want to say about the subject. The feel that I get from Walter Isaacson is at the end of his biography, he wants you to feel like you have spent time with the subject. And for me, that allows the reader to have sort of an objective look at the subject matter, which I appreciate. He does his best, I think, to present real and human moments from the subject matter's life without passing judgment and without heaping too much praise either. So I am really looking forward to starting this. Let me know in the comments which series. Let me know in the comment section if I should do a series on the four. I will let you know that I am most looking forward to the Leonardo da Vinci series. If you have any investment in this channel or these videos, let me know in the comments below. And as always, I hope to see you back in the next video.